Have you ever looked around and wondered if this is all real? What if our world, with its vast galaxies and tiny atoms, is just a sophisticated computer program? This isn't science fiction. It's a serious question pondered by philosophers and scientists alike. It's called the simulation hypothesis. The simulation hypothesis suggests that we might be living in a giant computer simulation created by a more advanced civilization. Imagine a hyper-realistic video game, so real that the characters inside us don't even know they're in a game. That's the basic idea. This might sound crazy, but think about how far technology has come. We create virtual worlds in video games and simulations every day. Is it so hard to believe that a much more advanced civilization could create a simulation indistinguishable from reality? This idea has profound implications. If we're living in a simulation, what does that mean for our understanding of life, the universe, and everything? Let's dive in and explore this mind-bending possibility. One of the most compelling arguments for the simulation hypothesis comes from philosopher Nick Bostrom. He argues that if advanced civilizations exist and they have the ability to create realistic simulations, then it's highly probable that we are living in one right now. Bostrom presents three possibilities. First, civilizations might go extinct before reaching the technological level required to create such simulations. Second, even if they reach that level, they might not be interested in creating ancestor simulations like ours. Third, we are almost certainly living in a simulation. If the first two possibilities are unlikely, then the third becomes much more likely. It's a matter of statistical probability. If countless civilizations exist and many create simulations, the number of simulated universes would far outweigh the number of real ones. This argument doesn't prove we're in a simulation, but it makes you think, doesn't it? If there are more simulated universes than real ones, the odds are stacked against us experiencing the real thing. Another clue that we might be living in a simulation lies in the laws of physics. These laws, which govern everything from gravity to the speed of light, seem perfectly fine-tuned for life to exist. Even slight variations in these constants would result in a universe where stars couldn't form or atoms wouldn't hold together. This fine-tuning is often cited as evidence for a creator. But what if it's evidence for a programmer? Just like a video game designer sets the rules of their game, perhaps the programmers of our universe set the physical constants to create a universe capable of supporting life. This idea is further supported by the holographic principle, a theory in physics that suggests our three-dimensional reality might be a projection of information encoded on a distant two-dimensional surface. Think of it like a hologram where a three-dimensional image is created from a two-dimensional surface. Could our universe be a giant hologram, a complex projection of information stored on some cosmic hard drive? Quantum mechanics, the study of the very small, provides some of the most intriguing hints that we might be living in a simulation. One such hint comes from the phenomenon of wave function collapse. Imagine a coin spinning in the air. Before it lands, it exists in a state of both heads and tails simultaneously. This is similar to how particles behave in the quantum world. They exist in a blurry state of possibilities until we observe them, at which point they collapse into a definite state. This collapse is one of the biggest mysteries in quantum mechanics. Why does observation determine reality? Some physicists believe it's because reality itself is being rendered or generated, just like in a video game where objects only become fully detailed when the player is looking at them. Could our observations be the trigger that collapses the wave function, rendering reality around us? It's a mind-boggling thought, but one that some physicists take seriously. If we're living in a simulation, is there any way to prove it? And if so, could we even hack it, bending the rules of our reality? Some researchers believe it might be possible. Roman Yampolsky, a computer scientist, has explored the idea of escaping the simulation. He suggests that if the simulation is running on a finite computer system, there might be ways to detect its limits or even exploit them. For example, if the simulation has a resolution limit, like the pixels on a screen, we might be able to detect it with sufficiently advanced technology. George Hotz, a hacker known for unlocking the PlayStation 3, has also expressed interest in jailbreaking the simulation. He believes that if we can understand the code of the simulation, we might be able to manipulate it, essentially giving us admin privileges to alter reality. While these ideas are highly speculative, they highlight the intriguing possibilities that arise if we entertain the notion that our universe is not quite what it seems. Section 6. Trapped in the digital sea. What does it all mean? The idea that we might be living in a simulation has profound implications for our understanding of existence. If our thoughts, feelings, and experiences are all part of a sophisticated computer program, what does it mean to be human? Do we have free will, or are our actions predetermined by the code of the simulation? These questions challenge our most fundamental assumptions about reality and our place in it. If our experiences are not real in the traditional sense, does it diminish their value? Or does it perhaps enhance the wonder and mystery of existence, knowing that we are part of something far grander and more complex than we ever imagined? The implications extend beyond the individual. If we are living in a simulation, it raises questions about the nature of the universe itself. Is our universe just one of many simulations running on some cosmic supercomputer? And if so, who or what created the simulators? Section 7. The architects of reality. Who's pulling the strings? The simulation hypothesis inevitably leads to questions about the simulators. Who are they, and why did they create our simulation? Are they benevolent overseers, curious observers, or something else entirely? Some speculate that the simulators could be our own descendants, running ancestor simulations to study their past. Others suggest they could be a completely alien intelligence, perhaps using our simulation for research, entertainment, or some other unknowable purpose. The possibilities are as limitless as the imagination. We have no way of knowing the motivations or the nature of the simulators if they exist. However, the very act of contemplating their existence forces us to confront our own place in the grand scheme of things. If we are indeed living in a simulation, it means we are not the pinnacle of creation. There are beings out there far more advanced than us, capable of feats of technology and creativity that we can barely comprehend. Section 8. The search for truth. Unmasking the simulation. While the simulation hypothesis is a fascinating thought experiment, is there any way to prove or disprove it? Scientists and philosophers are actively exploring ways to test the hypothesis, seeking definitive evidence to confirm or deny our simulated existence. One avenue of research involves searching for glitches in the matrix. Just like a computer program can have bugs or errors, our simulated reality might exhibit subtle flaws or inconsistencies that could reveal its true nature. Another approach involves examining the fundamental limits of our universe. If we can find evidence of a resolution limit, a maximum energy level, or other constraints imposed by a simulated environment, it would lend credence to the hypothesis. The search for truth is ongoing, and the answers, if we ever find them, are sure to be mind-blowing. Until then, the simulation hypothesis remains a tantalizing possibility, a reminder that our universe might be far stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined. Section 9. Life in the Digital Age, Embracing the Unknown. The simulation hypothesis, whether true or not, serves as a powerful reminder of the vastness of the unknown. It challenges us to question our assumptions, embrace uncertainty, and approach the universe with a sense of wonder and curiosity. In this age of rapidly advancing technology, where virtual reality and artificial intelligence are becoming increasingly sophisticated, the line between the real and the simulated is blurring. The simulation hypothesis, once relegated to the realm of science fiction, is now a topic of serious scientific and philosophical inquiry. Regardless of whether we're living in a simulation or not, the very act of contemplating this possibility expands our minds and deepens our appreciation for the mystery and complexity of existence. It reminds us that the universe is full of surprises, and that the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know. As we venture further into the digital age, the simulation hypothesis serves as a potent reminder to approach the unknown with an open mind, a sense of adventure, and a healthy dose of skepticism. After all, in a universe where anything is possible, the truth might be far stranger than fiction.